Hello students, welcome to Accounting 318, Intermediate Accounting 2. My name is Dr. Claudia Mercado and I will be your instructor for the course. The course will be running from May the 5th through June 29th, 2025. I am super excited because this is the first time I teach Intermediate Accounting 2 at Southern New Hampshire University. So this will be the first time I get exposure to the textbook information, the projects, the capstone, everything that it entails. So I've been reviewing a lot of this information. I am eager to and prepared to be able to answer your questions or concerns. It is going to be an amazing semester. I highly recommend that you print out your course syllabus. That way you ensure that you keep up with all of the assignments as well as review the weekly announcements that are posted. Now, what are we going to be learning in Intermediate Accounting 2? The course description states that students will study the liabilities and equity side of the balance sheet and apply accounting concepts for the proper preparation of financial statements. Students will analyze the inflows and outflows of cash for an organization and prepare accurate cash flow statements using both the direct and indirect methods. Students will utilize authentic tools and technologies to apply accounting principles to a variety of financial reporting situations. So this is the course description per the catalog. Okay, there's a lot that we're going to be covering. There's a lot of content that is going to be explained, and there's a lot of projects that we're going to be working on to be able to apply what we are learning. Okay, so the core competencies for this specific course, these represent the knowledge and skills relevant to the field that we are covering. Is Accounting 33420. We're going to apply accounting principles and methods to long-term liabilities and equity. ACC 33421, we're going to analyze the inflows and outflows of cash for an organization. And ACC 33422, we're going to apply accounting principles and methods to a variety of financial reporting situations. Okay. Now, a little bit of background about myself. I did start off, first of all, I am the first generation of my family to go to college. I was actually the first one in my family to go to college. I really didn't know if I had what it took to be able to go to college. I was born in Mexico. I was born in Reynosa, Mexico. I crossed over to Texas when I was very small. I come from a very low income family. I was very hesitant to go to school, to go to college. You know what? And I said, you know what? I'm going to give it a try. I started out in a community college where I got my accounting clerk certificate. Then I continued and I got my Associates of Arts in Business Administration, also from the community college. At that point, I transferred to the university where I completed my bachelor's and master's in accounting from the University of Texas Pan American. And then after that, I proceeded to work on my doctorate. So I completed my doctorate of philosophy in business administration with specialization in organizational leadership in 2020. Okay, so this is a little bit of my background and my educational background. Now, mind you, during all of this time that I was going to school, I was also working full time, and I was also taking care of my 4 children. I have 4 children in total. I have 2 biological daughters. Right now, they're ages 18 and 21. And I've got 2 adoptive sons, ages 23 and 24. Okay, so very busy, a lot of work, but not impossible. Okay, so this is a little bit of my work history. I have about 13 to 14 years of banking experience. I started out at Texas State Bank as a loan account representative, became a teller supervisor, lending assistant. I then moved on to another bank. Once I completed my bachelor's, I went on to Lone Star National Bank. I started out at the bottom as an accounting specialist 1, then I became an accounting specialist 2, then I became a senior accountant, a banking officer, then I moved on to becoming an operations project manager. I was a vice president. Okay, so I did a lot of banking. I loved banking, but situations or things happen, and I had to prioritize my family over my career. So I needed to find a more flexible job that would accommodate my children's schedule. So at that point, I decided to transition into the education realm. So I started teaching at South Texas College. I've been there since August of 2014 to the present. I've been there 10 years. I'm a full-time accounting instructor. I have served in the facility of a assistant department chair for 2 terms. I only put 1 term here, but I've done that twice already. And we work in a lot of projects, a lot of professional development, a lot of initiatives. I've been a volunteer for the VITA program for 10 years. This is the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program. I am a coordinator every year for the VITA program in South Texas. So I love being able to do community service. I love doing income tax returns, helping the community. It's just wonderful. So this is basically a little bit a glimpse of my work history so far. So let's go ahead and go over some important information. I just want to make these general announcements. That way you are familiar with what the course expectations are. It is very important that you read all of the announcements posted each week. In the announcements, I'm going to give you information about deadlines. I'm going to give you some additional resources that you can review, summaries of the chapter, things of that nature, okay? So please make sure to read all of the announcements posted each week. Please make sure to adhere to all assignment deadlines. All of the deadlines are posted either in the announcements or in your course syllabus. So please make sure that you always keep your syllabus handy. If you need clarification on any of your assignments or the instructions, please ask before you submit the assignment for grading. Once you submit an assignment for grading and it has been graded, there will be no resubmissions allowed. Okay? And this has happened in the past where students say, well, miss, I submitted the file, I graded it, the student got a bad grade, and they're like, well, I quite didn't understand the instructions. If you don't understand, you ask before you do your work. That way you understand the instructions, you can complete them correctly, and then you can submit the correct assignment for grading. Okay, so please make sure that you are clear on the instructions. If you need any further explanation or any questions answered, please do so before you submit your work. Once your work has been submitted in grading, that will be the last grade or the final grade that will stay. If you are working on a problem and you need clarification, please provide me with the problem information, maybe a screenshot of the problem, and your attempted step-by-step solution so I can provide guidance. I am not going to give you the answer, but I do want to see what you're doing. So just sending me a message that says, Miss, I'm lost is not enough. Where are you lost? Have you read the chapter? Have you reviewed the examples provided in the chapter? Okay. What are you trying to do? Show me your step-by-step calculation so I can review it and let you know what, you're missing a step here, or your math is incorrect, you're not rounding correctly, whatever the case might be. Okay? On the discussions, please make sure that you answer all discussion prompts in full and that you organize your responses in an easy-to-follow manner. Okay? Please make sure that when you are working on discussions, you are clear on what is it that you need to reply. If you use any resources, please make sure that you cite your sources, and make sure that you complete the discussions by the established deadlines. Discussions are not allowed to be submitted late. Okay. Going into the late submissions, there might be situations where students might need extra time to submit their assignments. Students are given up to 1 week after the assignment due date to complete their work, with the exception of discussions. Discussion boards are not allowed to be submitted late. Okay. For any other work, you can submit it late. There is a 10% penalty for late work submitted. Okay. Students who submit assignments more than 1 week late will receive a 0. Okay, so please be very careful on your deadlines. So from the date that is due, you have 1 more week to complete the assignment with a 10% late penalty. Any work submitted past that week will be submitted, but you will earn a 0. I will not grade it. I will simply give you a 0 because it is past the deadline. Okay. So students need to submit their assignments by no later than 11:59 p.m. their own time zone on the last day of the term. for the end of the term, you need to be very specific in submitting your work on the date, because if you submit it later, it will not count, and it can negatively affect you. Okay. No assignments are accepted after the last day of the term unless an incomplete has been submitted. If during the semester you have any questions about anything in the course, please feel free to contact me. You can always email me at c.mercado@snhu.edu. If you would like to speak with me, please send me an email. Let me know a list of dates and times that you're available so we can coordinate and set up that meeting time. Okay. I am here to assist you. I'm very excited about Intermediate Accounting 2. Getting to see what the different projects are, working on the different assignments, just expanding our knowledge in the different areas that we're going to be covering in this course. Okay. Stay organized, meet the assignment deadlines, ask questions if needed, read. Reading needs to happen. Please make sure that you read before you attempt any of your assignments. Okay. So that is it for this particular short lecture. I just wanted to give you a brief overview of myself and welcome you to the course. Very excited for these next 8 weeks with you. I hope you all have an amazing rest of your day. And until next time, bye-bye.